We're going to introduce the decontamination process for disinfecting the rear of the ambulance after a potential COVID-19 patient. This process is being used by several fire departments in Polk County and was developed by an internationally known hazmat person as well as an infection control doctor. We're going to store this in the gear racks located directly behind the ambulances. The equipment materials includes an industrial sprayer, which is the blue hose on a stand and a pump, a 5-gallon bucket, which is the orange bucket, 27% hydrogen peroxide, which is in the blue 1-gallon container, and a measuring cup. The solution necessary. All right, so now we'll show you how to mix the solution necessary to disinfect the ambulance. It's 2 gallons of water, which fill from here and bring it up to the top of this mark. We've taped all the way around the bucket. Fill the water to the top of the tape. Once you got 2 gallons in it, then you'll need to pour half a cup of this 27% hydrogen peroxide. Make sure you have gloves on. Make sure you have your eye protection on, because at 27% hydrogen peroxide, it can burn you. You can see we've marked the measuring cup with a line at half a cup. So fill up to the top of the tape. Once you have your half cup of hydrogen peroxide, take the cup down into the bucket, and when you pour it as close to the top of the water as you can, just to prevent splash. Always remember to reseal the cap and return it to its storage location. Once this is mixed, half a cup per 2 gallons of water, this is a concentration of 0.5% of hydrogen peroxide, which, as you all well know, the store-bought hydrogen peroxide contains 1%. So this should not harm you. Okay, now we'll walk you through the setup process to get the sprayer ready to go for disinfecting. Before you even plug it in, back up. I suggest we place the ambulance outside of the bay, and we'll walk through the application process next. Take your cord, make sure that the switch is in the off position. The switch is labeled A, and down is off. It even is marked off. Once you've assured that the power switch is off, take your cord and plug it into the shoreline. Is probably the nearest outlet. Once it's plugged in, the process is such. Disconnect your drain tube from the suction tube. Submerge your suction tube into the bucket of solution and locate the drain tube over drain. You'll want to make sure your prime switch is up. The prime switch is labeled C, and that means the prime is on. Your next step is to turn the machine on. Back to switch number A. Up and on. You want to wait until you get continuous flow out of your drain tube. Once you get continuous flow, you can put the drain tube back in the bucket and reattach it to the suction tube. At this time, turn off the prime valve by pushing valve number C down. The machine shuts off on its own. That's normal. So now you'll want to take the hose off. Get ready for application. Before you apply it, you're going to want to make sure it works. Simply spray it. The machine will turn on and off as it needs pressure. In the start mode, on your pressure valve, that's the lowest pressure you could be be at. So, I'm sorry, it's medium pressure you can be at. If you desire higher pressure, simply turn the valve up. And you can feel, see, and hear the pressure increase out of your nozzle. Our suggestion is to be somewhere in between start and full pressure. Let me tell you about this tip. This tip is sized accordingly. It's a 209 size tip. 2 stands for the spray pattern. It sprays about a 2-inch pattern. And the 09 is the size of the orifice of the spray tip. It should always be in the spray mode. If you was to turn this, it's to unclog the tip. The only application that would be for is if you was spraying paint. We're not, we're spraying water and hydrogen peroxide. So there should never be a reason to turn that. Just leave it in the spray mode. You can see the spray pattern on the end of the tip. If you get a lot of liquid coming out, check this to make sure it's not in this position. To get your best spray pattern, it needs to be in the spray position. Now you're ready for application. Okay, so now this is our application process. Need to be in a full Tyvek suit, medical gloves and mask, and eye protection. We'll start by removing the cot from the back of the ambulance. We'll spray the pad down, take the mattress off, and spray the mattress and do vertical strokes back and forth so that the entire mattress gets coated. I think you'll find that it doesn't take very much. You want to make sure you get the sides as well and the ends, so you'll have to move around. Now he's going to flip the mattress over so we get the back side. And same stroke patterns, just back and forth. Coat the entire mattress. It's not like you're painting it, it's just you're getting it covered with mist. And don't forget to get the sides and the head so we get the rounded edges. The crevices are important too. Where the mattresses bend. So once that's complete, we'll leave that aside and let it dry. Now we'll do the cot, the stretcher itself, and start high, work low with the cot. And you really want to focus on the areas that you touch the most. If you used oxygen and you had to turn the oxygen on and get the oxygen bottle in the valve, any lever that you had to depress, whether it be the handrail or the buttons to raise and lower the cot, then coat those fairly well too. The switches, the electronic switches, are supposed to be water resistant, so we're not going to worry about that. And notice he's getting all the bars, all the mechanisms. When he gets around the entire cot, we'll tilt it on end so that we can get the wheels. If you touch the IV pole, stand it up and disinfect the IV pole. And this too is like, again, it's a spray gun, so if you don't need to spray, let off the trigger. The red handles that lower your handrail, make sure you get those good. If you stepped on the brake, make sure you get the brake good. So for time purposes, I'll help Joe and we'll get this tilted up. Notice he spins the wheels so that we get all of the wheel surface. And we can tilt it the other direction, get underneath the bars. Just like you would if you was disinfecting after a trauma call. So once that's complete, we'll set it upright and we let the stretcher and the mattress dry for about 15 minutes. The back of the ambulance is such that what's recommended is that you start low and you work high. You focus on grab points again, so your handrails that you might have used to get in, the door handles to the back, the door latches, but you should be able to hit most of the back of your ambulance from the door. They've recommended that you don't need to go in any more than one step, and then to get the front part of the ambulance, we'll move over to the side door. So Joe showed you how he's disinfecting the handles, both doors. He'll close those doors and get the outside handles next. But he's working low and he's starting low and working high. Close them doors and get the outside handles real quick. Both the latches and the hand rails. Looks good. We've coated them well. Open the truck back up, and again, no more than one step inside. And he's going to start low. Of course, he sprays down below where he's going to step, so the disinfectant works before he gets it on the bottom of his feet. He does the grab rail, starts high. Now I'm going to stop this and move over to the side so you can see what he's spraying on the inside. Yep. So he sprays the floor back and forth, then horizontal spraying back and forth, low, work high. It's not really that you have to saturate, you just need to get a good spray on it. Back and forth. Sorry about that. Yeah, it works on the other wall. Don't saturate the monitor, but if mist falls on it, that's great. And maybe just a quick once over past the monitor. Very good. And now we get to the sidewalls where we sit. Now Joe can readjust and come over to the side door. Again, he starts low, works high. Focuses on the grab rails and the door latches. Try to spray the back side of those grab rails. And then the outside door latch as well. Minor collision, sorry. Now I'll shoot from the back of the inside and you can watch Joe work his way in. You see, I don't know if you can tell, he sprayed the steps. Then he works high. He gets the back side of that cabinet. Now the seat. And behind the seat. Might require you to step in a little further, but now he hits the ceiling as well, you've noticed. You might make note too that, again, this is intended for paint and we're really spraying water, so it may want to drip on you. It may want to, you may have some drippage out the end and or back by the handle. I think you get the gist of this. I'll sign off of this application part. We're going to let this solution sit for 15 minutes. And at the end of 15 minutes, we'll go in with a towel and wipe off any excess solution that might be on the walls, on the rails, on the seats, etc.